So, who remembers where we left off?
We're in the cemetery.
We're thinking about going back to sleep though, because we haven't had a rest since the big fight.
We did have a little quick investigation on the goblins, the ladder, the tomb being raided. We found a robe with patches on it.
Okay.
I thought the patches were ripped off of the robe.
Sorry,
They
yeah,
were. They are.
They were. Yes.
Okay.
And you wanted Cadence here because you needed him for something.
Yeah, that comes later. Okay, you're all just staying out in the cold, in the rain.
Case was just coming to after being knocked out, being like, "Oh fuck, what the hell happened to me?"
We should probably go back to the inn and recover, unless somebody really wants to go running off into the forest tracking things right now.
I thought we were about to go back when we stopped.
Okay.
It's been a long day.
Yeah.
So,
Sleep.
We were gonna go back and rest. We had already, I think, said that.
If for nothing else than to refresh our spells.
yeah, it was close to midnight when the sheriff came to get you. So, going back, good. So you guys go ahead and head back to the Rusty Dragon. Hold on. And the normally vibrant place is just as you left it, very sort of solemn and somber. You do notice that there are a couple more people, who might be having a drink, a meal, whatnot, discussing the day's events. As your group enters, many of them raise a glass to you, give you it's kind of a pathetic cheer, but it was still a cheer nonetheless. And given the events of the day, you can understand why they might not be as enthusiastic as they would be otherwise. You all head to your rooms? Yes?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. You head to your normal rooms. They are prepared for you perfectly. There's small like a snack prepared for you, as well as each of you has a goblet that is filled with a opaque liquid next to your bed.
I'm gonna take my snacks and a drink and just sit in front of the fireplace and stare into the fire while I eat.
Okay.
Probably just stand in front of the fireplace and try to warm up. Dry off.
So the thought. Go ahead.
Case was just gonna take out that necklace from earlier and then just chuck it on after a few seconds of looking at it.
The necklace from earlier.
The one with the weapon iconography on it.
Oh, sure. Okay. Okay. So the thought to warm yourself up on the fire, crosses your brain, crosses your mind. Perfectly normal thought. And you find that in very short order, you're able to, regain fair bit of heat. The room itself is nice and toasty. The Doesn't seem to be much of a temperature difference between when you first enter the room and when you get next to the fire, but both are still, adequately warm in order to be able to return you to a comfort level. The rest of you just straight to bed.
Yeah, bed sounds good.
Okay. So next morning comes. The night passes pretty uneventful. Everybody go ahead and well, actually I'll just do it. Sec. Let's see. Okay. Just a second. I'm gonna send some of this. Okay. So most of you have a fairly peaceful night's sleep. And you wake in the next morning.
I have a question.
Sure.
When we level up, our HP goes up. Does our current HP go up the same amount?
Well, so you're not going to level unless you're resting in a rested situation.
Gotcha.
So those two things would go up together.
So we get that HP overnight?
If I did not send you a message, then yes, you got a full night's rest. If I
Okay.
did send you a message, you did not get a full night's rest.
Oof.
Oh yeah, getting back 25 HP.
So you hear the Xian, what are you doing, man? You just trying to spam me? Is that what's
Making
happening?
sure my spells are working. How do you talk to yourself?
Slash
I don't-
talk to myself. What? Slash talk to myself. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
All in one word.
Ah, okay, nice.
So you hear, downstairs, coming up through the floorboards, essentially. Sun is creaking through the windows.
Rakana will get up and stretch and head downstairs. See if she can find some breakfast.
Okay.
I will join Rakana.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Quick question.
Yeah.
So leveling up to 2, right?
Yeah, I'll let you do that.
If he
Not
has
was a quick
to.
question.
I'm not finding what I change on my character sheet other than adding whatever I pick as class feats, skill feats, and everything. Is there any change? Like,
Most
you
things
change
change
the
automatically
level-
once you change the
Your
level at the top.
stats change automatically. You
Yeah.
just have to add the feat and your skill training, and that's all basically, and maybe spells if you get any.
It was so magical watching all the numbers go up when you changed the level. It was great. I was like, woo,
okay,
less squishy.
okay, cool. All right, I'm good.
Excellent. Any other questions? Okay. So who's heading downstairs?
I am.
Ricana, Elaine, and myself.
I'm downstairs too. Sorry, I'm eating still.
Oh, Maya's already downstairs, apparently.
Oh, I see. Let's see. 1 second. So, Bethania begins serving you all breakfast. Those of you who are down there. So, after you know, and again, you notice that the inn is, back to almost regular occupancy. There's quite a few people who are there for breakfast. Again, it's a subdued um, um, atmosphere. And as you guys are about midway through your meal, the door to the Rusty Dragon comes swinging open, and in walks somebody that you are familiar with, that you saw south of town, um, leaving the mansion. He walks straight up to the bar where Amiko is, and begins kind of yelling at her. And they're talking in a language that none of you understand, and they're kind of going back and forth, and it's clearly a fairly heated argument. Let me see if he notices you. Are you guys well? Okay.
We're only
kinda
like a
stick out,
giant
like, a
orc, a
sore
tiny
thumb.
fairy, and a small puppet.
Yeah, it's just he's kind of, it's you guys aren't the only people in the bar. You're kind of over on the side. He does, Amiko kind of disengages from him and goes back into the back for a minute. At which point he looks over at you and says something about how your ill-advised antics against the goblins, should have been left to trained professionals. The last thing that we need is a filthy band of vagrants to attract even more trouble in town. Yeah, and he really just kind of laying into you guys, trying to make a scene in front of everybody. Most people are just kind of looking on a little bit slack-jawed.
Danny is gonna stand up on her seat and is he close enough I could like poke him in the
No, I mean he's probably a good 15 feet away from you guys.
dang it. um Danny is gonna stand up on her seat and put her hands on her hips and go, I didn't see you helping out. People were saved. That's what matters, right?
I heard that he kind of looks over. He's like, I don't know if it was you, but I heard that several of you set tents on fire and it was a big disaster and quite the mess. And if you actually knew what you were doing, you could have potentially, yes, you may have, helped cleaned up a couple random goblins at the fairgrounds, but there was several other people that got hurt throughout the town. And something along the lines of, if you had managed to clean them up quicker and gotten around to actually defending innocent people, maybe fewer people would have gotten hurt. He kind of begins making his way, maybe closing the gap by 10 feet to where he's just about 5 feet from you guys at this point.
Danny rolls her eyes and goes, wow, beggars really can be choosers.
I'll tell him that he's mixing up the actions of the goblins and us, and that he was unhappy with us taking action, but also unhappy with us not acting fast enough, so he should probably get his priorities straight.
Kind of looks at you and says, exactly my point. Who brings a doll to a fight? What kind of nonsensical group is this?
Someone
With
who
that-
knows that the doll can heal properly.
I mean, occasionally the doll actually does heal, but maybe not as often as the group would like. So with that, Amiko comes storming out of the back with a soup ladle in her hand and begins again kind of arguing with the man that you know from before. And as she goes, she's kind of pointing at the door. Again, they're just arguing back and forth. He actually grabs her by the hair. But she kind of like does this little, up and under move, and then brains him in the skull with the soup ladle, excuse me, splattering whatever was inside of it, and potatoes and whatever all over his hair and outfit. And at that point, he releases her. Oh, sorry. One sec. Hold on. Okay. At that point, he releases her and kind of spits on the ground and says, in a low voice, but one that's in common, "You're as dead to me as your mother," and then stomps out of the tavern.
Oh.
Amiko, apologizes to everybody, apologizes to you guys specifically, and then kind of returns to, returns to the, bartending and kind of serving everybody their meals and whatnot.
I'm gonna crawl down from my chair onto the floor and go and walk over to the bar and encourage Batu to lay next to the bar so that every time she goes back to get a drink, she can pet him.
Okay. So, Miko, just before she enters the back room, says, well, I guess I'll need a clean ladle now as Jackass Stew isn't on the menu. And that gets kind of a rousing laugh from everybody. And things seem to have kind of returned to normal. I believe, I don't know if you guys remembered this or not, but I think this evening you're supposed to go to
Have
Fox
dinner
Gloves?
with that nobleman.
Is that
you
right?
saved. Yeah.
Okay, that's tonight.
Yep.
Okay. So, so as you guys are kind of finishing up, the rest of you are still just sleeping in, or are you coming down as well?
Gip would like to use this moment to come down after having finished his daily preparations.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll start coming down.
Yeah. Come down.
I also
get some food.
take out the robe and start taking a quick look over it if it's in our possession, or if the sheriff took it. I'm not sure.
The sheriff would have confiscated the robe
I don't know.
as evidence,
All right, yeah, just eat.
unless you made some sort of, protestation.
Nah. I just wanted to sleep.
Okay. So
If anyone was missing, Rose would have gone like to Horace and everyone else's rooms and knocked on their doors.
Okay. Are you going to let them know about what has transpired, or are you just going to get them out of bed?
Yeah, I'm saying like we're gonna leave if they're gonna join us.
Okay. So as the rest of you kind of enter the tavern, you do see that most of the people at the tavern do come over to you at some point and thank you. Several of them come over and introduce themselves to you. Some of which you've met before, sort of casually, but at least you recognize. Pretty much everybody here you've seen at some point. Maybe half of them were actually at the festival. That you see, like a little boy that, he mentions the fact that it was, he knows that you tried to save his dog, but he understands that, how nasty those goblins are, but you did save his mom, so he's grateful for that. And after a while, maybe 15, 20 minutes pass. Let's see if I have a handout. A beautiful, let's see. One second. Is it here? Really? Huh. Well, hold on. Let me get a description of her really quick. Oh. Let's see. I need to. So, probably one of the most attractive humans in the bar, female, has been making her way, waiting for sort of the crowd of well-wishers to disperse. And she makes her way over to the seat next to you, Cadence, and sits down and places her hand on your knee and kind of whispers in your ear that she's so grateful that you were there to...
Was I, though? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Right. Incredibly grateful that you were there in order to be able to, protect all these fools from those nasty little goblins. And kind of, again, she's... And it's interesting because she's a combination of both brazen in that she approaches you and very much, initiates contact, but is also trying to play it a little coy as well. She says that she has a problem as well, and that she's hoping that you could help her with it. Her father, Venvinder, you guys, I think you know him as like the guy who owns the general store, has been too busy, worrying about her sister to take care of hold on. She said that there's some rats in her basement that she knows that you're just the hero to take care of for her. And she's hoping that she knows that it's, rats aren't anywhere near as glamorous work as defending the city against a goblin attack, but she's hoping that you could help her.
Rats. Are we like all sitting together right now?
What was that?
Are we
I'm
all
sorry?
like sitting together right now as a
So
group?
you are sitting together, but she's very carefully trying to, she's sort of, whispering in your ear kind of situation. She's letting the rest of the people are going up to, the rest of your crew and thanking them, and she's using that as kind of a opportunity to come and approach you and talk about this.
Well, why me then? If you want to kill rats, why don't you go talk to the orc? Or the large fellow that has a tendency to turn into other animals.
She kind of looks over them with disgust, and she says that, from what she understands, your voice alone could send these rats scurrying, and, she just thinks that the
I
way
don't
in
know if
which...
that's an insult
Is
or
that
a
an
compliment.
I roll my eyes.
She knows that, the way in which you dispatch foes is... She would much rather watch you do it than the two that you point out.
And where's this rat problem at?
It's in the basement of my father's house.
And where is that?
So actually, let's see. I mean, it's not far. She's happy to show you. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. All right. Da, da, da. Not that one. Here we go. Yeah, so it might actually be in the basement of the general store.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I'd say that, he lives, let's see. Yeah, we'll say that his house is the second floor of the general store, and the basement is where she says that there's a rat problem.
Well, I may be able to convince my other party to help you out.
Hmm.
My hands are a bit more acclimated to performing and hobnobbing with lords and ladies than killing rats.
She assures you that it's something that you could handle alone, and that the others would just serve as a distraction, and that, she wouldn't possibly, endanger you, as you are, one of the newest and most interesting members of the town.
Well, I may come by this afternoon.
Oh, I worry that they might eat the grain before then, so I could really use your help right now.
So
This
pushy.
isn't vicious at all.
What's that?
Nothing.
I'm gonna
Laying it
bump
on thick, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna bump Rakana's like elbow and be like, "Is this how humans mate?"
Oh,
She just snickers.
We can't hear what they're talking about, right?
it's probably pretty difficult to hear at this point. If you wanted to try, you could roll a perception check for me, but right now most of you are being kind of bombarded with other people trying to offer you drinks. Hear stories of your heroic defending of the town and whatnot.
Makes sense. No, I won't bother with a perception check. That's fine.
I only have one question for her then.
Okay.
Have you ever been to Andoran?
No. She doesn't even know what, a very confused look gets over her face. She's not even sure where that is. She's like, I've spent my entire life here in Sandpoint. Not much, other than the recent unpleasantness, not much has happened. But she knows that now that you're here, hopefully to stay for good, that, she'll feel much safer at night.
I suppose I can go take a look.
Okay. So at that, she gets quite excited and takes your hand and leads you out of the inn.
I'm still sitting next to Rakana, right?
Unless you moved.
I'm gonna elbow Rakana and point at them and say, hey, Rakana.
Hmm. Why is
What do you
everyone
think those
elbowing
two
me?
are up to?
I don't know. Lucian seems to have an admirer.
I mean, an elbow from Danny is probably about as much as someone poking you usually.
That's true.
Well, obviously, Rakana is the expert on society and human action and stuff.
Why?
Obviously. Did she give her name, by the way? I missed the very opening.
Shayless. Shayliss.
Shayless is shameless.
See you all. I'm out here somewhere.
Go
Bye,
get
have
him.
fun.
Yeah. So,
Have fun,
you know,
Danny.
she.
Like, okay, Rose would probably would have been like try to say something to him to ask where is he headed to, so at least we know where he's going.
So at this point, well, you can roll a perception check for me, Rose.
Okay, 1 second.
Well, did we hear that she's the daughter of,
All of the conversation that has transpired at this point has been between Lucian and her.
Okay. So as far as we know, he just got up and left with a pretty lady?
I would have said to the group beforehand that this was the daughter of the general store that needs some assistance, and then I'll be back later.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Alright.
hoop and
Okay, I'm
holler
not
as
gonna
he's
roll
walking out with her.
Okay.
Something along those lines.
He went with the harlot. Oh.
So she
Love
She
is a
shoots-
beautiful thing.
she shoots you
I mean-
daggers damage as they leave. And
Rose
kind
can't
of
be the only one flirting.
what's that?
Nothing.
Okay.
This go. I'm not rolling anymore because that's all Rose would want to know. Like,
Okay.
the moment she would see him get up, wondering where they're
Okay.
going.
So she leads you down the streets. She does not seem to be in a hurry. And in fact, she kind of takes your arm and wraps her arm around it. And it seems like you're just kind of going for a stroll. She's also raised her voice some and in a seeming way to draw attention to you guys, to where you're able to quickly kind of ascertain that her intention is to let as many people see you with her as possible.
Can I check to see if there's anything weird going around in my surroundings?
Absolutely.
Very suspicious of this.
Yep. Do you want to do a deception or do you want to do a perception check?
I should probably do deception.
Or diplomacy, any of those.
Although it would make more sense as a perception check.
Well, the way I like to use deception is if two people are trying to lie to each other, who's better at it, right? And if you're really good at deception, there's a decent chance that you're going to be able to pick up on other people's clues.
Okay. I'll roll
So,
deception.
very rarely is a very good liar not able to detect, other lies. Okay. So, yeah, everything is as I've described it, where it's, it's fairly obvious that, because especially the way that she's kind of guiding you, one, the hurry that she was in inside the Rusty Dragon seems to have dissipated, so that's number one. Number two, she seems to be taking a bit of a winding pathway, going past largely populated areas, but she's not like taking you down any back alleys or anything like that. Not to mention the fact that she seems to be drawing attention to the two of you, which kind of, again, soothes your concern that there might be something that she's either leading you into a trap or that, anything like that, right? To where you seem fairly confident that her agenda for the walking portion of this is to simply let people see her with you. And it seems to work, as many people kind of like nod. Most people are nodding at you in a way that says thank you, for your help, kind of situation. So eventually you make your way to the general store. It is closed currently. And she takes you around the side where there is a set of those cellar doors that go down to the basement. She opens those up, and she goes down first.
She goes first. Can I see down there at all from outside?
Yeah, you've got dark vision, right?
I think I have low light vision.
Okay. Yeah, no, it looks, it's just a small ladder that goes down maybe, 10 feet. And from all appearances, it looks just like a normal, cellar / storage area.
Do I hear anything down there?
Go ahead and roll a perception check for me. Actually, I'll roll it for you. What's your bonus to perception?
It's a 6. I do have I don't know if this affects things, but I do have this. If you look at my
Yeah, no, definitely. So you don't hear anything.
I'm going to very cautiously follow her.
Okay. So
But hang a little bit close to the entrance when I get in there just to get a look of everything.
yeah. So you get down to the bottom of the ladder. You kind of look around and you see that there's some, various storage barrels and things like that. Some crates. There's some stock there. You actually see some stairs that seem to go up into the general store. But there's just like a small torch kind of flickering against the wall that has some shadows kind of dancing on the wall type of situation. Shayless, kind of brushes past you, being careful to make sure that she touches you as she does it, and kind of closes kind of pulls a rope to close the cellar doors, and says, "Oh, they were right over here," and kind of again takes your hand very, very gently and pulls you towards her past some crates. And as you kind of round the corner, you see there that there's like a small cot that's been set up.
Oh.
And before you know what's happened, her bodice has come off, and she slides herself into an embrace with you.
Fade to black, right? Oh
my.
my.
There's no fading to black here. Sorry. So that's what she's doing. How would you like to react? She's kind of kissing your neck, thanking you for, being willing to come with her. She's so glad that you were able to ditch those other fools, and, she can have you all to herself kind of situation.
I'm going to push her away.
Okay. She kind of looks at you in disgust, and it's, but then quickly turns into sadness that she says, "Don't you find me attractive?" She is very, very attractive, by the way.
Right. You've mentioned that.
The cadence. She's very attractive.
I'm saying we got an 18 charisma that you're looking at. She's gonna be hard to resist.
Oh, do I have to roll to resist?
No, I mean, not yet. I'm not gonna make the will slave just yet.
Charisma means
We'll see
you're
how
super attractive.
Again, she just says that she wants to show you her appreciation for, saving the town, basically.
That's it.
Again, I mean, if you want to roll another deception or perception check, you can feel free to do that.
One more for good measure.
Sure. Well, here, okay. Everything is as it appears.
Oh man, put on the spot here.
It seems so set up to happen. Certain thing needs to happen here.
Yeah. I just have this. I still have this little suspicion on the back.
I understand that you do, based on me being the GM, and it's totally reasonable and understandable. But I mean, you've seen your roles, which I probably should have just had them be secret roles, to be honest with you, because that would have made this much more interesting.
They have been.
They
your roles.
So where he
Yeah, they're
couldn't see them
secret.
as well.
No, but I meant like to where even Cadence doesn't know what they are.
Oh,
I think that would have been
Yeah,
more
yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
But shame on me for that. So no, look, she's not going to throw herself at you, right? The second that you kind of push her away, she's more pouty face than she's not looking to rape you or anything like that, but at the same time she's clearly wants to make herself available to you and is hoping that you'll reciprocate.
I absolutely don't. My character kind of just looks at her, Ryan's like, I've been stabbed. I've almost been killed in the past couple days, several times, by the way. I've had blood all over me. I've rode a giant sea tortoise across the ocean. Now's not the best time.
Okay, so she'll tell you that maybe she could calm you. And she lays down, or she kind of sits, where her lap is at the head. She kind of like moves the pillow that's there, right? She kind of sits down there, and she'll sit down, and she'll just kind of pat her lap, indicating to you that you could just lay your head down, and she'll take care of you, kind of situation. And there's like a bucket of water there with a sponge or whatnot that's clearly warm water. There's steam coming from it, to where she'll tend to your wounds of the soul. But it doesn't have to be anything physical, she says.
I roll my eyes even harder at that and just turn around and look to leave.
Okay. So as you go to leave, you well, let's see. Let's roll. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me. Okay. So you don't hear it coming, but the door at the top of the stairs gets flown open, and down comes Venvinder, her father, who has a lantern, and basically what he sees is you running away from his half-naked daughter in the basement, and gets very huffy and approaches you, and
I
kind
just
of.
want to point out I am fully clothed and I'm not
You-
running. I'm just kind of walking away.
Yeah, exactly. No, 100%. But he's clearly upset that he has caught the two of you. She's half naked, so the appearances are what appearances are.
Right. Does he say anything?
Yeah, he starts, cussing at you, and starts putting his finger in your chest, type of situation. Let's see here. He's looking at his daughter. He's threatening you with, he's got big meaty fists, right? So they're quite large. He's not a small man by any stretch of the imagination. And
Can
so
I do this from upstairs to make it sound like there's a huge racket up there? To
so I
get
mean,
him distracted?
yeah, so that's 2 actions, right? Plus it is, you're going to be talking in order to make that happen, right? Because it's an auditory cantrip. So he could you could do that, and he might be able to see through it, kind of situation, which would just potentially piss him off further. So your options at this point. Well, I mean, if you've got any other options that you want to go with, feel free to use them. But you can. Other options that you have are to flee. You could fight him, or you can try and talk your way out of it. Shayless is, trying to hide herself behind you, and you feel her kind of pressed up against your back.
I'm gonna look towards her so I'm not looking at the guy, so he can't clearly see me, and then
You're
do
gonna
that.
turn your back to the dude?
Like kind of look to the side a bit. Like I'm
Okay.
looking at her as she goes behind me as if she were pulling my attention.
Okay.
And then cast that.
Okay. For normal human shouting.
Just like a loud racket from upstairs in the general store.
Do you need to be able to see it, though? I think you have to be able to see it.
Doesn't say see, it just says range.
Well, it says from a square you designate within range. All right, hold on. No, thank you. I would think that you'd still require line of sight in order to be able to make it happen, though.
Can I see up into the main area at all? He came down.
No. You might be able to do like the top of the stairs. Let me see.
Top of the stairs is fine. I just need a slight distraction.
Okay. So he, you create the ghost sound.
Like a crashing sound.
It's a crashing sound. That's what you want?
Yeah.
Sure. That will draw his attention for a moment.
And then I book it as soon as he.
So are you trying to run up the stairs, or are you trying to run out
go
of the
back out.
cellar doors?
Yeah, out the cellar doors.
Okay. Okay. So. All right, go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh no.
Bad daddy's got a gun. Bad daddy's got a gun.
All you had to do was make love to the girl.
So. All
Who
right.
hurt you, Cadence?
Yeah.
Or
I
he would
just wanted
be
to love
caught
you.
in the
Backstory,
accident.
guys.
He's a nobleman.
Daddy
You can't,
Fender, your daughter is
you
an
can't
adult.
frolic
She
with
can make
town
her choices.
So all right. So yeah. So you managed to get the drop on him. Like you say you cast your spell. You see that he is distracted by it, and as he kind of goes to turn, you just do a sprint to the top of the stairs. Stairs are considered difficult terrain, so you can only move it half. Unless you wanted to do either an acrobatics or athletic check for me to try and.
How far do I have to go?
I mean, they're 10 feet of stairs, so that's 20 feet of movement that would be used.
We'll do that because I have 25. That gets me to the top.
Well, you actually have 3 actions, right? So you've got because the ghost sound was outside of combat, right?
Oh,
you
okay.
you have 75 feet of movement available to you.
I'm using all 75 of those feet.
Yeah, I will see if she tries to grab you though. Hold on. Okay, so you're gonna need to do we're gonna do a grapple check here. 1 second.
She's definitely persistent.
She is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she sees that you're making a run for it and attempt an athletics check against the target's fortitude DC. So what is your bonus to fortitude?
1 second. 5.
So it's a 15. Okay, let's see what her athletics. 1 sec.
All I'm saying, guys, is if I win with it, it could have been way worse.
She's probably trained
Or
in
way better.
grappling.
Because he still would have walked down there.
Sure.
Maybe.
We'll never know.
Maybe. Yeah, you'll never
Have you ever
know.
thought that the reason he's mad is because you didn't do it?
Hey,
No, I didn't actually.
she's very upset. All right, hold on for a second, because this is
The
How dare you
antithesis
turn
of
down my beautiful daughter?
the antithesis of all
Hold on.
bards not sexing their way out of situation. Like, come on, Cadence.
yeah,
Oh, I'm not gonna play a stereotypical.
not
bard. What are you
very
talking
good role
about?
playing, by the way. But that's we'll call it what it is.
I'm not a stereotypical bard.
Hold on. How do I add a handout?
Not
Oh,
having
you're not
sex at
like
every
other
opportunity
bards.
should be anathema to bards.
Right.
Handout. Can I put this in here?
Wait,
Oh,
you're
come
not
on.
going for the dandy bard?
Right. This actually is true to my character. This is good roleplay.
Let's see here. Well, I guess everybody would have seen her at this point. So there you go. So she's in your handouts now, to where you can get a decent idea of what it is that you're dealing with.
Oh, she's pretty.
Apparently not pretty enough for Cadence, but that's fine. Maybe he
You
doesn't
should
like
have shown me the
rednecks
picture
then.
earlier. That's all I'm saying.
I told you she's pretty. Okay, so she is. Whoa. Okay. This is gonna be funny.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
It already is.
Oh no.
Like, I'm over here just smiling
Cadence is
away.
about to die by snoo snoo.
God damn it, right as I took a drink.
All right, give me a second. I need to see if she's got proficiency. I think she does.
Why is she a proficient grappler?
As I said, she's probably trained in
Why do you
grappling.
think
She
she's a
would have been a great
What?
experience.
He's also the
Uh,
champion of the underground wrestling
Yeah,
ring.
so
Yeah.
you clearly get
Respect.
a drop on then, but you feel this iron grip of
Of course.
Shayless grab you around the midsection and kind of, hold you like with quite a more powerful than what you would have anticipated.
Are you
And
trying to get me killed?
no,
I-
she in a single move, and again, you're actually really impressed with how much power that she displays, where she kind of uses your momentum and twists you at the same time and puts herself between you and her father. And begins arguing with him and kind of again naked from the top up, pushing her dad away with one hand and holding you sort of in place with another. And she kind of looks back at you and gives you a stern look of, "Hey, I've got this," type of situation. And
I'm just gonna stop and let her do it then.
okay. So she, goes to her dad and basically says that, he's been so distracted with her sister that he doesn't have any time for her. And that, this I'm assuming you told her your name at some point?
Sure.
That Lucian was, that and she tells him the story, right? That you were just coming down to help her, with a rat problem, and that, she was just looking for some companionship, and that he needs to, that she's a grown woman and he needs to let her be, kind of situation. Um and let's see, let me roll do you want to try and help her with this, or do you want to just let her keep going?
I'm gonna let her keep going. I'm not getting into the middle of this.
Okay.
If I don't have to.
So Vin is, incredibly upset, starts kind of like, basically accusing her of trying to entrap you type of situation, and, tells her that she's not welcome at home anymore, and turns around kind of in a huff and, tells you that, if you have any, needs of anything in his store, you should probably look elsewhere, and then goes off in a huff. And now she's in front of you crying.
So that was a thing. Do you
I'll be
have
right
somewhere
back
to
while you
go?
decide what to do. I'll be right back just a second.
Yeah.
Can't leave her crying, man.
I just wanted to leave.
I
Man.
like this lady.
You already made her homeless.
Wow.
Wasn't even
That-
trying, guys.
Certainly went a direction.
Well, I
Yep.
mean, she certainly got fucked here one way.
Oof.
Oh, Jesus.
Like we have a guest NPC in our party.
Yeah, bring her along. She seems like a fun time.
Yeah. We'll just have her grapple enemies left and right.
So she does,
The grappler.
I like her.
After she sobs for, a couple seconds, she does kind of, start to cover herself back up. She, apologizes to you. She should have just, come forward and told you what her intentions were, but she didn't want you to feel the judgment of your friends or anything like that, and she just thought that this was the most expeditious way to get you alone, essentially. And that she, just heard about what a magnificent job that you did at the festival, and was hoping to have you sing to her.
Oh. Well, if that's all you wanted.
Well, it's not all she wanted, but
A
was
very
hoping-
roundabout way of getting you to sing.
I'm not singing on Discord.
Why'd
Fair.
you choose Bard then,
Yeah,
bro?
right, exactly.
Sing!
No. I'll play other music, but I'm not singing.
Okay.
But I,
So she's, she says something about like where she's supposed to stay,
she have nowhere to go.
Good luck with that.
She doesn't.
She could always stay in the forest.
Is that a euphemism, Damage?
Nope, not at all. Don't know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna invite her back to the end. Damage.
She already
Damage
gave
isn't
us ugly
there.
looks.
Hold on.
So, I
Quiet,
mean,
quiet, Damage. Damage isn't there. Nobody can help you. This is just you and her. You have to make a decision.
Well, you can come with me back to the end until you get something figured out.
Okay, so like at that offer, her face, like all the tears evaporate, right? Her face begins to glow. You can see that there's it blushes quite a bit. I need you to be looking at the picture, right? Just look in her eyes as I
Looking at
tell
the
you
picture.
this, right? Just
I have to
let
pull it
them
back
bore
up.
into you type of situation. And she's very clearly very grateful, and again, kind of presses herself against you, thanking you, and she apologizes again to say that she's sorry for the deceit, but is very grateful for the opportunity. She kind of reclothes herself, but slowly, kind of looking at you to make sure that that's what you'd want, and then goes over to the she thanks you for not hurting her dad. He's hot-headed, but she's positive that you could have fell him with one swipe of your scimitar, whatever the fuck you're using, a rapier or something like that.
I have a dagger.
Oh, okay.
But
Well,
I'm not
whatever.
gonna go stabbing random guys. That's
Exactly. No, but she's but she likes the fact that you're not a brute, right? So then she makes that aware or known. Her sister has kind of has started to get a reputation, and so she's trying to avoid that. But at the same time, she didn't want to. You're like the first eligible bachelor that she was attracted to that has come into town, right? So, yeah, and with that, she'll open the cellar doors. The light comes in, and
I will take her arm in an effort to soothe her and lead her back out towards the end.
okay. So she's, she very much her touch is much more tender now than what it was just a few seconds ago. And it's interesting because you can definitely feel that there is a strength underneath that doesn't, it again, her you were really surprised at how well she was able to move when it was necessary, and now there seems to be almost no indication of that level of power and swiftness, and it's just a very tender touch. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
I think I may have just fallen into something a little bit more than a.
You guys are also like, can't I just give you guys a bone?
Oh god.
So, no, it's so
Bone, eh?
you do because of your keen elven ears, you hear then inside knocking stuff over, looking for whatever that was, that caused that racket upstairs kind of situation. He's just you hear him kind of like cursing and what the hell was that kind of and occasionally he'll throw out a thing or two about well, how easy is it to tell that because you're a half elf, right?
Right.
And so like, do you
half
wear
elf
your
that strongly favors the elf. The elvish
okay?
side.
Do you wear so your ears? You proudly show them?
No, actually don't like elves.
Oh, I thought you said that favors. Oh, you mean favors as in the
Yeah,
appearance.
Features
Yeah.
favor the
Got it.
elvish appearance.
Yeah.
Have you
Exactly.
tried to
More
hide
elvish than
your
human.
ears though?
I'm not right now, but yeah.
So, but currently you're not. So the question is
Yeah.
like, would he be able to tell that you had some sort of elven blood?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Okay, so then you hear some sort of slanderous elvish base pointy eared blah so and so and blah 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 that kind of stuff. So and you get the indication that you probably either need to find somebody else in your troop to do your shopping here, or you've got some serious diplomacy
Jameson
to
and the
work.
bear.
Yeah. Yes, and in the bear. Okay. So you go back. Shayless is with you, and you just want to send her up to your room, or what do you want to do?
Is everyone still here?
Yeah, I mean, this is well, I don't
How
know.
much
Did
time has
Are
passed?
we
This
able
is-
to tell she's been crying? Like, are her eyes still
Nope.
red?
No, she's beaming when she comes back
God.
into the
I just
Lusty
want to
Dragon.
confirm she's not naked still, right?
No, I
No.
did mention the fact that she had
Okay,
reclothed herself.
I
Yes,
just
she's
wanted to
not
make sure I missed that.
having a walk of shame through the fucking town. No.
How long
fucking
have they
pervert.
been gone?
Bruh.
I mean, they've probably been gone for
That's good.
maybe 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes the most.
Busy
I
20
don't
minutes.
judge.
Right. Okay, but we'll say 27 minutes, right? So we'll give them